So, welcome
Oh,
everybody.
fantastic.
Welcome to Appy Hour. First,
Hello.
hi Ryan, welcome.
Hey, how we doing?
Good, we're doing really
Fabulous.
well. Just going live on Facebook now, and we're getting our folks are coming in, so fantastic.
Sounds great.
Well,
So,
holiday time, lots of festive things happening in my house. How about y'all's?
yeah, no, we finally did get our tree up. So and we're gonna do some uh decorating later this week. So
Nice, nice. Well, I told my husband, I said I want a puppy for Christmas.
you want a puppy?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I mean,
Oh,
it's been
goodness
Daisy's been gone
gracious.
for a little bit now, so I'm not ready. And let me show you what I got. I need to unblur my camera. This is what I have.
Oh, you've got a balloon. Oh, that's
I
hilarious.
do. I was like, okay.
That is so funny.
And I love those little weenie dogs. I just think that they're the like their tails are the most ridiculous thing, and they make me happy.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
They are. They're super adorable. Ryan, do you have a dog? Animal, cat?
You know what? We have a cat, and yeah, he's been festive. The kids are dressing him up and all kinds of fun stuff.
Dressing up the cat?
Yeah, it's a he luckily he's a very mellow cat, and can kind of we have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. So little kids, the cat is he can handle all kinds of situations.
Wow. Well, he's got to be very patient and docile in order to be able
Yeah.
to tolerate all of that.
Yeah. But yeah, we have our lights up, and there was a little Christmas parade in our town last this a couple days ago. So it's getting festive.
For sure. I think it's always just a really fun time of year. Well, I'm going to start sharing slides because for all of you with us, this is going to be joining us on Facebook and here in Zoom land.
Mhm.
This is going to be something very special, and so you're in for a treat. I think I'm sharing my slides now. Yeah.
You are. I can see them for sure.
Fabulous. So, Heather and I have been on this AI journey. So, what is available for accountants? And there's a lot of there's a lot of us who are already adopting various different AI tools, but whenever it comes specifically to accounting, this is our mission. We want to go out there and dig in and see what's here. And Wurthy is probably one that most of you haven't heard of yet. So stay tuned. We've got some cool things coming. But first, Heather, you want to do an introduction of yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm Heather Satterley. I'm the Director of Education and Media at Woodard. I'm also a CPA and a technology lover. Um, yeah, so really happy to be here with everybody today.
I am always glad that you're here. I love seeing my bestie join. Getting to hang out with you is a super treat. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Liz Scott, and I would say I'm an accounting tech junkie for couple of different reasons. I enjoy the automation. I enjoy being able to see what's out there and share it with our people. And I always am looking for a better way. So processes is the way that my brain works. I like to break things down and then share it out. And I think that it makes us better. And AI is something that definitely has been knocking at the door of accounting for a while, but how to make it useful has been our journey. So that is what our AI showcase is all about. And we have a special guest here with us today, Ryan. So do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, hey everybody. Quick intro on me. I am the VP of channels here at Worthy, and I actually have a background building partnerships in the accounting space. I spent over a decade actually at Intuit, and some of you may know me from the Intuit Solution Provider program. It used to be called the Reseller program way back in the day. And yeah, so I know the space really well. And what we're doing here at Worthy is, building a solution for SMBs and also, helping you with your own firm and how you can, operate better, get better insights. Really be able to go back to your clients with the best knowledge and advisory tools that are out there today. Yeah, and I think, that's what's really exciting for me about Worthy is that it blends like my past with the accounting firms as well as industry experience with AI technology. I've also founded a company called Activate AI, which is all about utilizing AI and how you can do things in your business in a more streamlined way. And so this opportunity and really building out Worthy has been a great way to bring both of those worlds together. So I'm excited to talk to you and show you what Worthy can do in a really elegant way.
I love that. And I feel like we're definitely in an education space with AI. Like, what can it do? What does it allow us to do better in our firms? There's so many places to explore. And education is really the place that I think that so many are trying to grasp what to do, how to do it. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
for having
And
me.
and Liz, I couldn't agree more. I was actually just on the Bookkeepers on Fire podcast like literally 15 minutes ago. And we were talking about AI and how folks are really leaning into it, but there's just still so much to learn. So we're really grateful to have you here with us today, Ryan.
I
Awesome.
100% agree.
Oh, go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, so one of the things that is always fun is Heather and I enjoy the cocktail hour. So one of the things that Heather and I got to do today was go and make our drink and get it ready for today. And so we both have our hot cocos with us. I grabbed a little
Awesome.
Christmas mug that I think is about on its last leg. It's been through the dishwasher maybe one too many times.
Mm. I didn't have whipped cream though. I'm a little sad that I didn't have whipped cream. So,
Oh, we accidentally got somebody else's groceries. And so we ended up with one of those spray cans of whipped cream. I was like, what are the chances of that? So
oh
that
my
would have
gosh,
been
that's
perfect.
hilarious.
I know. I know. So, one of the things that Heather, you and I want to do is just kind of tee up who is worthy and like where do they fit inside of this AI accounting space. And you actually found Worthy and had an introduction to them and then shared them with me, and which I was thankful for because I was like, wow, how cool. But do you want to kind of share some of your thoughts
Yeah,
on
no,
that journey?
I met Ryan through Deb introduced, and it was one of those things where I got this like you have to see this. You have to see this app. And so that's how I learned about Worthy, and she was 100% right. So really excited to be able to share what we did see in the evolution because I mean that was a while ago, Ryan, right? So really excited to kind of learn, to share what you guys have done. It was great when I first saw it. It's even better now. So really excited to dig in.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful again for you guys having me on. Worthy is a AI powered platform that is really transformative for SMBs and accounting firms accounting, bookkeeping service firms that are helping them out with small business clients. And I can give you, if you want to just hop right into it, Liz, we can keep going. But I don't know, did you have any other comments you wanted to call out?
I think that there's so much to unveil with Worthy that hopping in, I think is great. Do you want to share slides or do you want me to continue and you just tell me when to
Yeah,
go?
yeah, you can continue. I have a couple notes, so yeah, we'll just go through the slides and then I'll do a live demo here at the end.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that. And I feel like everybody that's here listening, one of the things that's happened with Worthy is I've introduced him to a client that has multiple different businesses, and there's so many different places that they solve problems. So um, if you think you figured it out, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, boom, there's more. So definitely want to go ahead and dive into that. So I'll go ahead and go to the next slide, and then you may keep
cool.
going.
Yeah, just go maybe the next one. Great.
Okay.
So yeah, I can kick us off and so what is Worthy? And as I mentioned, right, it's an AI platform that is transforming how businesses run. But it really, at a high level, you can look at how you unite three critical layers. So we have the intelligence layer, and that is actually powered by our super agent. We call it Wes. But that's the where AI can help pull all data from different apps that you or your clients may have, right? So what that does is it pulls it all together. It synthesizes it into an intelligence that then the agent is basically fenced in around that business, right? It's fenced in and it can look at those actionable insights and bubble those up to you as an accounting or bookkeeping firm. Um, and what we do when all of that data gets pulled together, the agent can then see it. But in the middle here, you'll see that it says there's a business health score, and this business it says at 87 out of 100. And what that does is that's really the agent looking at the financial performance of the business. It looks at reputation. It looks at the operational flow within the business, and even market conditions and marketing campaigns that business might be doing. So it's not just looking at the financial kind of, the GL like QuickBooks or Xero or others, but it looks at the overall business, and that really gives a good holistic view of what's going on in the business.
Hmm.
Um, and then from there you can take all of those different connections and automate. And when I say automate, that's really from task to done. So this can help with things that your customers may be looking at pulling in AR, maybe looking at AP flows, maybe looking at what's going on in QuickBooks and how is that connected through to different elements of the business so that the business owner can make better predictions. Um, and it's not just those recommendations though, right? It's hey, here's a recommendation and this is why. And you as the accountant or bookkeeper have the ability to action that. So it's totally under your control. You can go and tell it what to do. It's not going to do anything without a human in the loop. So, I think some people kind of at times may think like, oh, agentic AI is going to completely take over and it's just agents talking to each other and there's no human in the loop. That's not the case here, right? We always have a human in the loop where it's surfacing up insights and then asking if you want it to go and take care of those, if you have those tools connected. And like one example would be like, there's customers that have long days of AR, 60 plus days, and they're trying to get those invoices cleaned up. So if you connect, your email provider in with Worthy, it can draft an email for you and actually go and send that to the customer if you have that customer data loaded in, the email address as well as within QuickBooks. So that's just one example. And then lastly, the kind of the third layer here is credit and banking. So this is built in. We have, the ability to have, your credit, your banking, savings, checking account. You can do all of that within Worthy. But the cool thing here is that business health score in the middle there, that's actually used to underwrite the business. Right. And so if you have SMB customers that are interested in getting access to a credit line or they need a credit card, that is used that it's embedded within the platform and they can access that.
I'll pause you there for just a second to add in that many of you know that whenever it comes to AI, we've been on this journey throughout this year in our firm of trying to solve for bookkeeping and review and then deliverables to the client. And that's been this place that we've been focused. And Worthy does some of that, but where I see Worthy for all of us accountants is in this place of advisory. So when we think of what's next, if we've got AI that's taking over some of the routine pieces of our business, what else can we do? And that's why Heather and I both were like, Worthy's got this whole different view. And if you think about the credit and the banking, it's like that part is, a main pillar of what Worthy is heading a business and to be able to be more worthy of lending. but we haven't had a direct path on how to get there. And that's where Worthy is taking a very active role in these other pillars. So, whenever I was thinking about my client's business, and I won't share too much, I'll kind of unveil some of that as we go. But some of the things that they're able to do because of these other pillars that Worthy has is dig into more of the intelligence part of their business. How can they rise up that business health score in a variety of different ways? Part of it's automation, part of it's looking at not just like what Ryan was saying, not just to the QuickBooks, but all of the other connected ecosystem of that business and pulling it into one central location and then telling you how you can make it better. That's where I think that accounting and bookkeeping is going to get more and more interesting because now we can actually give some true insights to our clients and then intelligently tell them how they can do better.
That's right. Yeah. And, really at the end of the day, right, the companies can grow faster, operate leaner, and achieve that world-class efficiency at a fraction of the cost, right? Instead of having to, have multiple people within the business, they can really take this and help, Wes can go and do a lot of the redundant work and be able to bubble up those insights like you're saying, Liz.
Yeah.
I think that's really where, we've actually just been working on a lot of cool reports that I'll show you here at the end, that bubble up those insights and that you can take into just an advisory conversation and pull it in however you like. So it's strategic advisory again, helping all of you out there to do that strategic advisory and not have to go dig into 20 different systems, right? Like I was just talking with an accounting partner earlier, and she was mentioning the 20 corners of QuickBooks to go in and find all of the data in different places, and then pulling that and building the advisory conversation where this can help do that for you, and you're not going to have to spend that much time to go and do that.
I've never heard that before. The 20 corners of QuickBooks. I mean, I actually like that because that gives that visual picture of you got to go dig into a place that you wouldn't normally easily see. And this really does bring it to, a place that you can take action because you can visually see what's going on in the business. And I would say there's been 5 different companies that I've connected, and I would say the business health score that you're showing of 87 is very optimistic because that is not where any of them that I've connected has started. So I won't keep us any longer. Do you want me to go ahead and go to the next slide?
Yeah, we can go to the next slide. But
Okay.
as you do that, yeah, the business health score. So, the system gets more intelligent the more data that it has, right? It's just like anything. You have good quality data in, you're going to get better quality info out. And so, obviously connecting a GL product like QuickBooks or Zero or, others, that's a very important piece. But then having, bank data, Stripe data, depending on what type of business it is, you can connect those in. The cool thing is that we actually have instant connections with over 300 different or 3,000 different SaaS apps directly within the console. So you can go into the settings tab and add those connections that are ready to go. You just have to log in once, right? It's what I think many of us are already used to, but you log in once and then you give access to the platform. You'll see here, like this is again one place to see and understand the entire business. This is our dashboard. You can see on the right-hand side, and then on the left you can see Wes, and there's basically a chat similar to any other LLM that many of you have already interacted with. But Wes is dedicated again and kind of fenced in around the business. So all of the connections that come in, you connect it one time and it has that data capability, right? And so as you continue to talk with it and the data gets, more connected, it's going to get smarter and really be able to be that AI business partner. And that's what I mean when I'm saying like turning complexity into clarity. That's where Wes can really see everything. It understands it instantly and it can work across the tools. And so for here on this interface, you can see there's, the business health score is there. There's $150,000 cash balance, 21,000 available credit, and then 34K in AR collections. So it's everywhere in one place, not really jumping around to 5 different systems. But West doesn't just show the data, it provides actionable intelligence. And you can see here, I know it's kind of small, but you can see where it says like needs attention. So that's actually Wes going and doing something, it identified three overdue invoices, and then it's also got recommended actions, right? So it's not just flagging the problems, it's actually telling you exactly what to do and how to go and execute and find the solutions. And that's the power here. So it's going to flag it, and then if you have questions about that, you can just type directly into Wes. Wes has memory. It actually can see which screens you're on and which reports you're looking at. So the contextualization of what Wes can do within the dashboard is pretty dynamic, which is what I think, what you've seen, Liz, and what others have seen, that it's great to be able to just bounce ideas off of, and you don't have to you know, uh, pull a huge list from, one tool and throw that into ChatGPT, and then, have it, run a list and then pull it back into a system. It's all in one place here on the platform.
Well, and I know that we're starting at this high level place, but one of the things I would say to all of you listening is that the advisory piece is an area that takes a lot of exercising that muscle to get better at. And it's how do you start? And up here you can see this business health score. Okay, and it tells you 2 months or 2 points gained this month because there was action items that you can take. And so here's these action items, and you can say 3 of 12 running. So you just continue to have it fed to you. What can you do to make your business health score better? And a lot of that goes into those areas that we were starting that very beginning is what all can Wes see, what all can Wes do, not just Wes, but Worthy be able to see and do. And like you were calling out the invoices, that's one piece of it. But then you've got those connected tools down there at the bottom. And I think that that's where so many of us in accounting and bookkeeping have struggled to be able to know which action is the most going to move the needle the most? Which area do
Right.
we attack most?
Yeah. And I think you're right, Liz, for folks that are just kind of dipping their toe into the advisory, space where they were mostly focused on the compliance work, this is fantastic because it gives them a path, right? It gives them the path and it gives them the knowledge that they need to actually have those start having those types of conversations with their clients.
100%. So, Ryan, you ready for me to go to the next slide?
Yeah, I was just going to say one. That's a really good call out on the actions. So
Yep.
it's almost
Right.
as it's okay. The actions up there, as you mentioned, right? You can go and get plus 2 points or plus 5 points, and those are directly related to the credit worthiness of the business. So we've done a lot of work on that from an underwriting perspective to make sure that those are right. Um, but those needs attention, right? If the business owner or if the accounting or bookkeeping partner goes and does those actions, we're gamifying it, right? Like, hey, this is if there's plus 2 points or there's plus 8 points. If you go and follow that on a daily basis, your business is going to be better off, right? So again, like bringing that instant clarity up and making sure that that you know what to do, right? Even I know in running small businesses in the past, right? There's a million different directions you can go, and so having this guide is super important, which is great about the platform and really the dashboard here.
It is. And I think that so many of us are going, okay, well, if part of my routine work is being automated, then what do I do? What's the next thing that I can offer to my client of value? And this is the type of tools that are coming. This is the type of way that we start working with our clients. And I love that you've gamified it. And it's like I was saying earlier, my clients did not start at that 87 percentile. So we're working towards that. And 2 points a month, I mean, that's continual effort that you're putting into something. So, it's a way to improve the clients that you work with.
Yep. Yep.
All right, well, I'll
All
go
right.
to your next slide.
Yeah, so and one other point on that is that it's not necessarily work that the business owner or the accountant or bookkeeper has to go and do. It's identifying that, hey, this needs to run, and looking at the books a little bit differently or going and collecting those out. And I
Mhm.
think that's the difference, right? Of like, how do you utilize AI to really go and do the work for you that may be repetitive, that you don't necessarily need to be in the loop once you set it up for the first time. Then you can really automate that if you want to run that on a monthly basis or a weekly basis. And that is for all of the different AI actions and agents that are in here. It's you can schedule each of those. So that's it. That's the
Awesome.
whole point, right?
Right.
You don't want to like this the sweat equity to go and do that on a monthly basis. That's really where AI can help. Um, all right. So on this slide, this is really the automations layer. So we've kind of talked about it, right? But you're pulling in data from multiple sources. It's getting corralled and really, understood by Wes, the super agent, and then it can go and take care of those tasks for you. Right. So in here, you can see the green check marks at the bottom. Those are really operational, items that are running themselves. So sending 6 reminders, reviewing 3 new vendors, reordering inventory, all of those things that can be automated. And again, that's repetitive work that may not need human judgment, right?
Mhm.
You can still have it flag you of like, hey, are these the 6 that you want to go and remind? But you don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to be in the middle of that every single time. And I know for, a lot of the bookkeepers and accountants that I've talked to, um, that there's a lot of things that your clients require of you, right? And that you're going in and doing manually, whether it's you or somebody on your team. And to be able to automate some of those and be able to pull your head up and really think about like, what is the strategic direction of this business and how can I make more money, on a, monthly retainer or your fee structure instead of just like, hey, I need to get this task done to get to the month end close. Have AI do some of that for you so that you can think strategically in helping grow that business because that's how you're going to get paid more, right? At the end of the day,
Right.
providing that advisory value.
Well, and I love that you've called out the cash flow because that's one of those major areas that many businesses fail because they don't have cash flow. The expense management's like where does the money go, and then the ad campaign, that one's huge. So whenever I think about most of our clients are online, so this has not been an area that we've been able to give much expertise. So um, I love that you're talking about how to better the business in all areas that Worthy can get a hold of and look at and evaluate.
Yeah, and that is, all the way from a CRM, right? So if you plug in HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever CRM that the client has, all the way through to their marketing campaigns. And I know Liz, you and I worked on a couple of your clients that run multiple different ad campaigns within Meta and Google and being able to look at those campaigns, understand, okay, where is the money going across all of the different ad spend. That's not typically an area that accountants or bookkeepers, focus on from a marketing perspective, but the dollars are going there. And imagine the conversation you can have with your clients and say, "Hey, I see that you're spending, $10,000 a month on ads, but this campaign really isn't working that great. Have you thought about retargeting that?" Or like, tweaking that one, or maybe shut that campaign off and let's push some new creatives. Those are conversations that you may not have been having, but it is something that again you can put your foot in the door and say, hey, this is what the finances are telling me, coming at it from that perspective.
100%. One of the clients that you're talking about right now, one of the things that he has said is if he was able to have clear visibility into which of his ads were getting the best reach because he has various different sales channels, getting that data, we've built apps, we've done all kinds of things, but it's clunky and to get that data. And so to be able to have information to know how his reach is being dispersed and to do something about it has been a struggle. So it's an area of advisory that I haven't been able to really help that particular client in. And this is a path forward. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and go to your next slide. Here you go.
Cool. So this is finance and credit operations and growth, but again, going back to unlocking working capital that's tied to performance. So again, if the system understands what's going on within the business, it can unlock that capital. From a finance or from a credit perspective, I just want to call out this is not tied to a business owner's personal credit score. This is directly tied back to the business. So AR is a big component of that, but again, because the system can look at it holistically, it's not everything, which I think some of the other credit options today are typically just AR backed, right? And so it's tied to performance. And again, the if the client wants to bank with us, there's lower costs that are built with built-in banking because again, the system is getting more intelligent as it goes. Um, I'll say, I think the key here is that these three different pillars, it creates a virtuous cycle, right? Better operations, improve finances, the better finances unlock more credit, and the credit enables growth, right? At the end of the day, the growth is going to drive the revenue and help the businesses that you're supporting. And in turn, I think you're going to be able to command, a better advisory rate with your clients as they continue to grow. So that's the whole gist of it here.
I love that. We'll keep going.
Sure. So we are also launching a SMB card, so this is true credit. It's not just a charge card. Doesn't so SMBs can actually roll a balance on this. It's not here yet. We're working on it, but I wanted to just call it out with the audience today that this is coming in the next few months. So this is something again as the businesses are going through and able to pull credit off of the platform, getting a credit card is also something that is on the way. And it's not just another business credit card though. It's integrated in with all of the intelligence and automation that we've shown so far. And I think that's where, going back to the AI intelligence, Wes can monitor the spending patterns. It can flag anomalies and then really optimizes that cash allocation. So it helps clients use credit strategically for growth and not just as like emergency cash. And that's really where this is going to be important. Also, as a partner, I got to call this out because I'm building the partner program. I want to have all of your viewers join if they're interested. But you're going to get referral fees and also rev share off of any credit that's pulled by your clients. So that's another revenue stream for everybody on. We can keep going.
Alrighty.
And we already talked about banking. I don't need to necessarily hit on this one again, but checking and savings accounts, payment, cash management tools, it's all integrated. So the smarter that the system is, the more access to credit and ultimately stronger finances that your businesses will be able to leverage if they're on the platform.
And I'll say that the clients that I've connected, the banking piece of it wasn't what drew me in. It was the dashboard. But from the client's perspective, for them, one of the comments that was made was, but it's here if I need it. So
Mhm.
it was interesting that it was a draw for them when not necessarily it was something that I even knew was on their radar.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to so many businesses and partners, and the businesses they're tired of the old way of lending. And I know many of the partners that may be on the call today, you may have been tasked with, hey, you need to pull all this data and get it ready to take it to my bank and go through that loan process. And then at the
Usually
end
we're
of
the last to know, Ryan.
yeah, yeah. But you have to pull all that together for them, right? And you put together that
Mhm.
package and so that they can get ultimately what they're looking for, which is that credit line or the for them to grow their business. Unfortunately, the traditional lending process, right, it can take 4 to 6 weeks. You come back and you might be denied, and you don't know why. You really have limited information as to why. That's the benefit of going with us on the platform because the data is there. Our credit allocation team can get on with you and look at the data that's in there. If there's pieces that are missing, it could be connect this other account and let's look at what you're trying to go and grow and go and get. So it's just I think it's a better way of doing business from banking and credit perspective.
Right, well, and it sure the heck on our side beats the rush of go do now because I think that that's what a lot of
Right.
us end up facing is that our clients let us know that hey, this is something I've been thinking about, and oh, my bank needs it tomorrow.
Yep,
And it's really painful because there's things that we probably would have advised our clients to do differently if we had have known and been aware that they were looking for funding.
absolutely.
I'll keep going.
Cool. So yeah, this to kind of put a bow on the platform, but it's one score that really shows where you stand and how to get better. That business health score at 87, again, that's a pretty good score overall. But each action that you and the business takes to improve the score, it's going to unlock more resources. It's going to drive further improvements in the business. And that's really, we call this the worthy flywheel, right? It's a compounding effect that makes the businesses healthier every single day. So hopefully I've portrayed what that looks like internally, but that's ultimately what Worthy is and how we help bookkeepers, accountants, business, financial professionals with your clients. But it's got, intelligence, automation, credit, and banking all in one platform.
I love it, and I'm sure that everybody's just like me, can't wait to see it in action. So,
Yeah,
um,
ready to dig in.
Yeah, let's I'll hop into a demo in just a sec, but if you want to go through a couple more slides just on the partner focus. So, as
sure.
I've mentioned, I've been attending a couple of events. We went to Reframe with Hector Garcia and that whole crew back in November. We just got back from AICPA. We went to a construction and real estate conference of theirs. And we've really been meeting with some great partners and talking about their businesses. And so here's Karen. She's one of our initial partners and really excited about what the platform's done for her. But if you want to click to the next slide, I'll show you just this is actually the CPA or accountant dashboard. So within here, you can see on the left-hand side, you have the dashboard that looks similar to a small business account, but you have a clients tab. You can go in there and invite your clients. You can upload, a CSV file and add as many clients as you want, or you can do those individually. And the cool thing about the dashboard that we've been building out is that, it shows you this across all of your accounts. So it'll pull up and flag like, hey, this is what needs attention. If there's, new onboarding things for new clients that need to get set up, this is the dashboard that you can see, and then you can click into any of the accounts that you've set up underneath that. Um, and again, it's through the AI-powered diagnostics and receivable pack credit platform that you're going to be able to, help your clients grow and unlock financial insights that might have taken you a bit longer to do that in the past.
Mhm.
I think that one of the reasons it takes us, longer to do this is because we have to go search for the information ourselves.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think that these kinds of dashboards are what we're starting to see become extremely useful in how we can utilize AI to its fullest. So coming to work, going and logging into your clients, looking at a dashboard that tells you what needs attention, what things are up and coming. You're looking at a variety of things between the paid advertising, which is something that many of us have struggled to have visibility into. So seeing that information on a dashboard, the Google Health, that's something that some of us have helped our clients with, but that's like after everything else is finished, then it's, oh yeah, okay, maybe we have a little bit of time to go and dig into this. Where I love that there's this dashboard that says, here's some actions that the accountant's probably going to want to take whenever we look at those two pending transactions and this needs attention. That's probably some area that we're going to go and just quickly do something with. But then our client being able to see this kind of dashboard as well, they may go over and look at their Google profile health. That's going to be something that maybe they have the logins to. Maybe you share some of that responsibility, but now you have the visibility to at least be aware.
That's right.
So
Great
I
call out.
love this. We're moving towards have the AI do some of that preparatory work for you. So then you would know where to focus.
Yep, that's right. So, just real quick, why Worthy is valuable to you. So, obviously having all of this data and being able to bubble up and get you into different conversations with your clients. but there's a financial incentive as well. So we're offering out a 30% recurring revenue stream on your clients that are joining the platform, as well as 30% recurring rev on any of the credit that they decide to take off the platform. So you're getting paid for the intelligence, and adding those clients on. You're also getting paid if they're deciding to take the credit. And again, I think that the what I've outlined so far is that the platform is truly more, more intelligent, and those rates may be more competitive than what your clients have seen up until this point. So how cool that you can go out and say, hey, I understand your business. I'm able to give you a better rate on the credit than you may have been getting previously. So you're saving them money, and you're actually creating a revenue stream for yourself. You're driving deeper client relationships with the advisory, and then seamless integration with all of the tools that you already use and your clients already use. Flexible branding. I've talked to some partners that are, don't necessarily want to throw their client on the platform. They want to use this really as an advisory tool that bubbles up those insights and then pull it into their own month-end advisory cycles. So that is something that we can talk through and work out with them as well. So that's why it's valuable to partners.
Absolutely. And I feel like, Worthy is growing with us. So, you're seeing a tool that is adapting to all of the accounts that it's working with, all of the accountants and bookkeepers and businesses that it's working with. So, this is a great way to be able to say, um, learning AI. Many of you out there are like, well, what can I do with it? And this is the kind of tools that are going to help you to know what else can you offer in your firms?
Exactly. And it gives you, it gives you that, it gives you the ability to go deeper with those clients, which you obviously have on your slide, but really digging into those places that you didn't have time for because now you've got that AI picking up the task work. And as I said before, I think this is also just an incredible the way that it's packaged and the way that you have embedded some of the learnings and kind of the breadcrumbs, right? For moving your team up into that advisory role, right? So they're able to learn as they go and as they're working with the clients, which I love. I love tools like that because we need that, right? With our team members that are, newer or more junior, they need access to how to do how to build these types of relationships with the clients. And tools like this give them the ability to do that. It gives them the resources, it gives them the pathway um, that they can rely on. So really good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's right. I actually had a really good conversation last week at the AICPA event with a few partners that are like, "Oh my gosh, this if I can do this with, have all my clients listed here, and I can have my new junior associates hop in and just talk to Wes about the business, that is like training 101 for them that they or one of their managers would have to go and do typically, saving them, they're like for a new hire, I spend at least, 5 to 10 hours on a monthly basis with that new hire in month one, right? Where they could hop into Wes and actually go and start playing with it and pulling insights and really understanding the business on their own. Which, I think that just as an overall conversation around AI and how to work with it in the future, that's really what we want, right? We want it to make us more intelligent and be able to go and figure out those answers in a faster way versus, older processes that are like, oh, if I have a question here, I need to go through like 3 layers of managers. It's like, no, the data's all there. You can go find it. You're not gonna
Yeah.
you're not gonna break anything. And that's where we have permissioning built in so that you can have, your teammates in there and they're not going to be able to go and change a bunch of things around. But that's a great call out.
That's awesome.
I think we've kind of hit all of these of like why it's valuable to your clients, but the business health score is tied to credit, an AI powered operating partner, right? That's going to help them go and be more effective in their own work and really where to focus their time. Getting access to the working capital and receivables backed credit lines, and then live reports and engagement. And one thing I will say, we're still at the outset. Worthy brought me in to be able to build out the accounting channel and get partners like yourselves that are so vital within the SMB ecosystem. And but we're building this together, right? Like agentic AI, I think we're still very much in the first inning of this. And so there's new things that roll out every time there, the frontier models go. And we're building a solid solution on, in our tech stack to be able to be at the cutting edge of that. And so my ask, and if you want to go ahead and click to the next slide, um, it's how to partner with Worthy is you can sign up with us, get access to kind of the gold tier benefits that we've got now. And you can invite clients, the clients sign up and then you can start earning. But the reality is, this is the flow that I want everybody to take, but we have like bumped up the incentive. So if you go one more slide, Liz, please. We're launching the Founder Circle Golden Ticket, right? And what this means is that there's three tiers in the program, but really we're gonna bump everybody up to the gold tier right now. And so that means 30% rev share on any clients that are signing up, plus any of the credit fees. You get free access for your own firm, and we're giving out 12 months free access to the client. So up to 12 months. If you have a client that's interested in this, if you're interested in this, you can have access to it. We really want you to like get used to it and just start working with this. So we're offering that out, which is I think kind of a risk-free offer for you to go and try this out. The other
Awesome.
thing is that like cycling feedback, right? I really want to gain as
Great.
much feedback from this channel as possible. And that's where, this isn't, maybe it's not for everybody right now, but we want those partners that are leaning into technology and want to see what they can do, and leverage AI to be able to build that, better practice. So, and I know
And
Liz and Heather, I've talked to both of you about this as well. So,
Yes. No,
yeah,
it's exciting.
feel free
It's
to add
exciting.
on. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is a wonderful opportunity. And I think that there's, folks out there who are saying, okay, well, talking about risk. So if you can talk about security, so that's going to be another area that many accountants are thinking about how they could utilize this tool, but they also want to know what kind of security is in
Yep.
place to protect their clients.
Absolutely. So the data here, we're not using this to train. It doesn't go out to ChatGPT or any of the other large language LLMs. We're SOC 2 compliant. We have bank level security wrapped around all of this, GDPR and CCPA, compliant and all above board there. So, and then also if you do come on and you're training, if you're coming on and loading a client in, that data is owned by the client, right? It's owned by you. If you ever decide to opt out of Worthy, that data is completely purged out of our system, and we give it back to you. So it's not owned by Worthy. So hopefully that helps answer the questions. I think that I've gotten those
Absolutely, Ryan.
questions multiple times, but
Yeah.
those are all the main points. Yeah.
Well, we always want to do our due diligence. So, any more slides you want me to go through, or do you want to start sharing?
There's maybe one
Oh,
last one.
okay.
Yeah, I think that we already touched on all of these. But yeah, you can succeed in going through and loading your clients into the platform and checking it out. And myself and the rest of our partnership team are available if you want to do demos. And if you go to maybe the last slide, there should be a QR code. There we go. So if anyone's interested in joining, go ahead and scan the QR code. You can email us at partners@worthy.co. And that phone number will come back to our team as well. So we have a dedicated partner website on Worthy. So if you're interested, sign up. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And with that, I will jump into a quick demo and show you live what we've got. And
Awesome.
just time check. We've got about 10 minutes left. Is that right?
Yep, that's about
Yeah.
right. Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
And then Ryan, do you already have shareability? Make sure.
Let me double check.
We should have sharing for,
Yep.
okay,
Looks
perfect.
good. Let me pull it up
Awesome.
and see if you can see my screen. Can you guys see that? Oh,
Yes. Yes. Looks great.
you can see the dashboard, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can. So you can see this is the partner dashboard. So you can see it's financial partner at the top. I've got clients. I've just got a couple of these in the demo, but Ryan's Roofing is my demo account, so I'll showcase this. You can see within here, like the health score is a 62 out of 100. I've got, different agents and automations that are running. There's 14 out of the 33 are active. And then if you click over here on Insights, actually, before I go into that, I just wanted to showcase if you want to add a client, there's an add a client button here at the top. And there's also an upload CSV to add up to 100 clients at a time. The CSV doesn't need to be any specific form. You can just log it in there, and actually the agent will parse that out and make sure that it's got all of the relevant info to send an invite out. But within this, I will go ahead and click Insights, and it'll take us to should take us to the dashboard. This is a live demo. I'm not don't have it pre-populated. So, but here's Ryan's Roofing, right? This account, again, it's got a health score of 62. These are the net receivables, and then available credit that's here at 50. The agents that are in here, these are some of the pre-built flows that our team has worked with other, accounting partners and bookkeeping partners to build these out. So we have a 13-week cash forecast that's in there. We have AR collections, QuickBooks cleanup, blog post generators, and then over here you can also see connected tools. So we have, bank accounts, QuickBooks. I've got a sandbox in there for my demo purposes. I've got LinkedIn connected, but you can browse all the tools. And again, there's like 3,000 different connections that are available in there. So that is the dashboard. One thing I did also want to just call out, like you'll see here on the left, we've got Wes, and Wes is this is the agent, and you can see that there's a lot of different options where you can just hop directly into the chat. I'm going to stay within this. I'm going to stay within the marketing opportunities and actually go to the press mentions report. I just ran that one and show you this is a real life report of what it can actually look at. So it's saying, hey, this is the press report. It just ran. It looked at the 8 tracked mentions. It identified, nothing was negative or positive. They're all neutral, which is great. It actually pulls up the KPI dashboard, and this is one of the things that Liz and Heather, when I showed you this earlier, this is a great way to just like you just need the business name and the website, and you can get this report. But it basically scrapes the internet for the client, and it looks at, what's going on out there. So it's got, here's the top headlines and coverage highlights that are in there. It's got, additional information and supplementary mentions. And at the end, it's going to give you a narrative theme observed of like what is really important to the roofing industry. Even give you some rich and watch outs, and then recommended next steps. So these are things, again, this is like not necessarily something that accountants are going to go and do, but just something that I like to call out as like a first step. Um, so that is a press mentions report. Any questions on that?
You know, my client loved this part. For him to be able to, the one that come into mind, for him to be able to know what was out there, positive
Yep.
reviews, negative reviews. Did he need more reviews? There was a lot of information that he was able to gain by just scraping the internet and learning about his business from a different perspective.
Yep.
Agreed. I mean, this is a delighter for them. So
Mhm.
it's something that goes beyond the accounting, right? What our hat is, and this is incredibly powerful, right? Because it puts it all in one place, and all of these different agents and places that they're getting, like you said, and we've been saying the whole session is going out to all these different sources to gather this information. It's all here. So yeah, it's really powerful. It is. It's a delighter for sure.
Mhm. And I'll call out too, because I don't know that everybody caught it, but there was 33 different recommended AI agents, and you just clicked on one of them.
Yeah,
So
this is
there's
just one. This is just a
32
just
other
a
things that you can do.
Right. So within that, here I'll just click on these are the agents that I'm actively running. So I was going through and did AR collections. There's financial ones and then there's growth ones. So the financial ones are really, if you look at like a 13-week cash flow forecast, here, you click on this, it's already like ready to go. I actually ran it this morning. But you can see, where you're at on a month, that 13-week forecast, where it's gonna come out. This account, as you put in the different QuickBooks data, it's gonna obviously look different than this chart, but this is out of a demo account. But I'll just call out, within the report right here is it's calling out, hey, payroll's not included in this specific file, right? So you might want to go and pull payroll if you want to get a true cash look. It gives you urgent fixes for this week, important this month, and then opportunity to build a cash reserve above the threshold, if you think that the winter's going to slow down. And then you can go into different details, but I think, and then here within the advisor notes, right, like this is where it'll pull for all of the partners of like, hey, just be care, like here's some call outs, here's some quick things that you can discuss. And yeah, it goes into recommended actions, getting the overdue AR on a payment plan, and it even calls out like that customer, right? This invoice, and if you say, hey, I need help calling out to, or I need help to email Mike Smith,
Hmm.
Wes can go and do that, right? And actually, I'll show you how to do that really quick. I'll just say, hey, I need help collecting AR from Mike Smith. Ah.
Nothing like being under pressure.
Hey, if you're doing a live demo and something doesn't break, you're doing it wrong, right? Um,
100%. I love the bravery.
but it'll say, okay, pulling up everything we have on Mike Smith, um, and it's gonna draft the exact outreach message and call script so you can collect fast. So yeah, it'll
Which
go
I
through and do that. Yep.
I love this, and I also think the other part of it too is same thing. You're talking about, sending the email to the client, but you could also use this as a tool to say, how should I structure this and approach it with my clients? So, any of these cash flow forecasting areas, those are areas that accountants, bookkeepers have wanted to lean into with their clients. But like, it's about that muscle. You got to get that strong first. And so baby steps. You can even talk to Wes about, what should I do first? What would be, the first step and course of action to either email my client or have that meeting with my client, and so you can get some help with that too.
Yep. Yeah, and I just even draft that in like, hey, how should I structure
Oh,
this
there you go.
conversation with a customer? It pulls it up, right? Hey, do a warm open first, state the purpose, anchor the agreement, right? And
There you go.
I mean, it'll call that out, right? So leave a one sentence that you can repeat back, great. Next payment of blah 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 will be made at such and such a time. So yeah, I mean, you can literally talk to Wes as an AI business partner, right? And again, it's like it's different than some of the other LLMs because it's got the data that's circled and closed in on the business that you're actually helping. So I think that's the power here. It's a bit more intuitive than something that may be too broad, right?
Hmm. Or hallucinates
So
and pulls in other client information. So
yeah,
let's,
it
yeah.
definitely is not going to
Mhm.
do that. It's going to stay focused directly on what we've got here. So, um, yeah, so this is the dashboard. There's a lot of different things that are wrapped around growth and marketing. So again, that's maybe something that the business owner may want to look at. But for you as accountants, we've got all of the different AI agents that are in here, and you can see, it and also to
Mhm.
call out, Liz, you mentioned like the impact, right? Here's those plus minus points, right? So this is the Easter egg, like, hey, follow where the most points are, and that's going to go up. So yeah, these are all reports that are in there. And again, we're looking for partners that, hey, you want to utilize these reports that are already in here, but we're open to help, build those out. That if you have a specific SOP or you have something that's really, really important for your firm, we can help build that with you as well if you join the Worthy Partner program. So
I think that that's that place that we're all growing together. And this is a really nice, shiny opportunity to be able to say, I want to learn. I feel like maybe a little bit behind. So this would be a tool to be able to get your feet wet, to dip your toes into how to utilize AI with a client, but in a safe way and in a way that you're also able to talk with Ryan, work with the Worthy group, that if you do have an issue, you can dig into what would make it better for your client, what would help you to do the advisory tools. So I love the transparency there, and we're all learning in this place. And your Worthy is able to adapt very quickly because, even as new ability comes out on the market, that's something that you're immediately utilizing and pulling into Worthy's development.
Yeah, I mean, as the new frontier models drop, right, we're pulling those in hourly, right? So earlier this week, 5.2 dropped, and that the agentic capability expands, right? So w when that expands, then we pull that into our ecosystem, and we're truly at the cutting edge. So I think that's it's an opportunity, right, for partners that are interested in leaning into the tech and providing quick feedback and if you're interested, we'd love to have that feedback and get going with you. So
Awesome.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for taking us through understanding where the value is, not only for our clients, but for ourselves as I think as a profession that is expanding.
yep, absolutely. And yeah, one thing we didn't even I said, hey, you can have yourself as like the partner firm. You can set yourself up as a customer as well and use it on your own business. If you're thinking about, hey, how do I advertise? How do I go and do different things within your own business and get new clients. So that's also another benefit of joining the program. So.
Well, we are right here at time, and I do encourage you out there to try it, especially like what you just said, Ryan, for your own firm. Find out about your own business. What are people saying? Be able to get some intelligence on, a dashboard that pulls in a lot of different information that would be otherwise that 20 corners of QuickBooks. I love that analogy there. So I got the QR code for anybody who wants
Great.
to sign up and join that. And then I'll go ahead and also share that um, Heather, you and I are going to have a New Year's party right around the corner.
We are, yeah, just in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing our New Year's Eve party. For those of you that have attended our prior New Year's Eve party, you know what to expect. We're going to play some games, we're going to have some prizes, and we're going to ring in the new year together. So we hope to see you guys in just 2 weeks for that. Yeah, really exciting. And then we're going to kick off into the new year with some more AI technology showcases. So really excited about that. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ryan, and thank you so much for everybody who's joining us on Facebook Land and in Zoom. And Jennifer, I see you're saying thank you. I'm glad that we brought something new and exciting that I had not seen before. So
Yeah,
hopefully this
it's
is
really,
refreshing.
really innovative tool, and I'm excited to see just even I mean it's already amazing, but I'm excited to see how it evolves even further. So very, very well done.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to building with everyone in 26. I hope everybody has a great holiday over the next few weeks. And yeah, thanks again for inviting me.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Bye, everyone.